Hello good people, welcome to the stream. And how are things with you today? So, back on a little bit. I haven't got the chat open yet, so bear with me while I get that working. Just had a little bit of a problem with that, but as soon as I get it going, it'll be alright. Only take a couple of seconds, I suppose. That one. So as soon as I get that underway, we'll get underway. I'm a little bit earlier than usual tonight, again. And I'll explain that all in due time. Okay, I think that's up and running. Got it. Right, so at the moment, I don't actually know where my wingmate is. Thank you for the subscribes the last few days. Actually, I've really started picking up some decent subscriptions as well. I'm kind of heading right up towards where I want it to be. Oh, my phone's playing up this bloody thing. Am I live? Is that me? It's definitely my ugly face. Right. So, whatever, let's get going. Yep, looks good. Right, so let's open up that galaxy map and see exactly where we are, really. So we're off to Saggitarius, I know that much, but I can't remember how many jumps I had to go. It's got 29 jumps. Hang on, that says Destination Brambley. What the hell's Destination Brambley? That's not what I selected, I'm bloody sure of it. Ah yes, sorry, no, we're not 29 jumps from Saggitarius. Okay, what an idiot. I was going down. I forgot about that. So if you joined in the stream yesterday, you'll know that I'm heading down towards a low point, somewhere thousands of light years below Colonia. And what I'm really looking for is I'm looking for that kind of that straight line, or not straight line, but why's that not showing up? I'm not looking for that straight line, but a diagonal line up to Saggitarius A. And hopefully, as I go along, I'm going to be able to pick up a lot of like Earth types, water worlds, maybe even. I don't think I'm going to do it on this run, going to Saggitarius, but I'll look for water worlds and Earth type worlds and stuff like that. Once I get to Saggitarius and I'm on my way back, and kind of me and my wingmate can go at different speeds, then I'm going to really start looking at, you know, high metal contents as much as I can really bag. I think, you know, the onus is going to be on making money coming back to the bubble. I've kind of come out, I've said, okay, I've been to Colonia. Didn't really do a lot of things around Colonia, but really just want to kind of get out here and show that prove? I don't know. Just to say I've been to Colonia. I'm pretty sure that now I can go pretty much wherever I want in the galaxy. If I want to go in the galaxy. Why is that not shown properly? Ah, I had a mention somewhere. Okay. I'm in the flying fuel scoop, so gotta make sure I scoop. Cripes, how do you spot a mention? Do you search it? No. Just give us a second, I'm just looking. I've got a mention somewhere and I can't see it on a Discord, and I don't understand why the mention hasn't showed up anywhere. It's a bit obvious. It's not there.
Warning, temperature critical.
Oh, good lordy woody, we should get out of there. I say, just bear with me a second while I try and spot this bloody thing. I'm not great at it, at spotting stuff, but I'll give it... Ah, okay, it might not have been me. So that might be why I was a bit thrown there. Just double check, but... It's today... That is so cool. Who's done that? It's not me, that's not me. Okay, no, so it wasn't. It wasn't a mention to me. Nobody cares. Okay, I'll have to check that one out as well. I'm just going through. I'm kind of jumped in today, and I haven't really looked at any of my my bits and bobs. So keep going.
Frameshift drive charging.
No, not that one. That one. I'm not showing anywhere yet. And to be honest with you, I've probably shot myself in the foot tonight coming on a little bit early, but you got to understand that, really explain it, to be honest. And slightly... I'm slightly burnt out by maybe the last week. I've really been hammering the game, and especially the last few nights, and although it's not, it's not super difficult to play the game, doing this for 6-7 hours and then also having a day job doing that for 6-7 hours, especially that last night I literally finished the stream, went to bed, woke up, went to work, and now I've just come back from work and I've come straight back on the stream. Now, I could have had a couple of hours downtime, but if I do that, there's a high chance that I'm going to feel tired, I'm going to and then I'm not going to feel comfortable coming on and doing it, because when I'm rested and feeling good, I'm a happy-go-lucky chappy, I'll talk to anybody and do everything, but if I'm kind of not in the mood, I get switched off, and I don't like that. I don't feel good about what I'm doing, and then I feel like I'm kind of forcing the situation, and then people who are viewing might get bored and stuff like that, so it's better to just be open about those things and kind of push on a little bit, So I'll push on a little bit here. I'll try and get down to at least to the basement, so that I can really kind of plot that line to Sajay. And then tomorrow night I've got tons of time. Yep. Friday night I've got time. Not a ton, but I've got time. Saturday night I've got Saturday and Saturday night I've got a ton of time, so this could be a good one. So that's not a problem. Sunday I've got good time and whatnot, so I'm gonna clout you, and I'm gonna clout you. Get over. Right, okay, so let's have a look. That's not a bad system by the looks of it. I don't know if we're gonna get anything decent now, because that gas giants took it up, but well, never mind. Push on. I'm also going to try and do some double streaming at the weekend. So what I mean by double streaming is I want to start using Twitch as well as YouTube. Twitch kind of have a much better partner scheme, and whereas I wouldn't necessarily want to pull away from YouTube, I would like to use Twitch to build the base a little bit more and get a few more viewers. So. Oh, 19 and no, well, with 4, probably going to be an absolute shit trap. Yep, there's nothing in here. Let's scoop some fuel, because I don't want to be caught with my pants down. Because, to be honest with you, I don't know where my wingmate is, so even if I got stuck in a fuel situation, I wouldn't know how to get, how to get back to that, so... Also, there was something I picked up on last night when I was going to sleep, because when I go to sleep I generally think about things that have been talked about in the chat, and I was talking about material traders at some point with somebody, and the kind of the bad trade-off you get with them, and I realised that there's actually... Hang on, that's a good spot, and if that's a water world, that could be terraformable. No, it's not, but it might be terraformable, so I'll check it out, because I've been coming across nothing so far. Yeah, somebody was talking about mats trading, and I realised there's actually a wing that do mats trading. The Indian Trading Company or something. They're like kind of like the fuel rats, but for mat trading. And I forgot all about that, and then I thought even my community could do mats trading if people meet somewhere and start dropping stuff for each other. So that's an idea that I'm thinking about for the Discord. It's kind of having a mats trading centre where people can kind of barter with each other and come up with a decent mats trade. Or if, for example, somebody doesn't like doing planet collecting, somebody else can go do that and then trade it off for something they don't like doing. So it's an idea in itself. We'll have to see about that. And it might just make it a little bit more fun. You're going to meet people, you're going to be able to... So I've flown a little bit out. It wasn't like super crazy for this one, and I'm just hoping that it is a terraformable planet. I think at 1,000 light years it's probably there or thereabouts, but the sun looks super small, so it's going to be hit and miss. I'm wondering if the sun's so small, it's probably not gonna. It's going to be high metal content, but it's not going to be terraformable. But you can cross your fingers. And it's not. So the reason I think that is because the sun's small, probably been burnt out a little bit. The metal's slowly turning, the planet's slowly turning into a rock world. Still trying to find my sweet spots and stuff, but my sweet spots generally work. They're not too bad. This looks a bit bigger. Now, because I've only got a few jumps on this run, can probably do it in around an hour or so, I'm going to actually check a lot of the systems where I wouldn't normally check. I'd normally be just flying on. If I see the number 30, I'm normally going to fly on. I'm not interested in a load of gas giants with rock bits and bobs, but I thought I might as well stop off and I might as well just check a few of them out just in case we hit anything nice. I don't think I will, but you know, you never know. Some of these look tempting, but they're probably absolute crud. Yeah, so nothing there to be seen. I'll probably just jump on and get on with it. So yeah, this is kind of it's a bit. If you're ever going to do a trip out to Colonia or a trip to Saggitarius A or a trip to Beagle Point, I mean, you got to take it into consideration at some point, just to say you've done it. But it is hard work. It's not the easiest thing to do. But if you do a little bit of discovery stuff, it does make it a lot easier on the run. And if you don't concentrate on those jump numbers and just concentrate on the actual act of getting there itself, you can enjoy it. Okay, so that looked like a good number, so I'm going to check it. We might have some decent planets here. Okay, so we're looking dull. That's within a zone, but I don't know if it's going to be. It's probably going to be rock. Well, it might be high metal content, but I doubt it. This one, that looks alright, but it's probably high metal content. Yeah, and 5,000 light seconds. I'm not going that way to take a punt. Hey Nero, how's it going? I'm on a bit early tonight. I'm a tad burnt out from the last few nights. Have you changed your picture again? Or what's going on with the picture? Can you explain? You did change it yesterday, didn't you? Unless I was just going mad. Maybe I was in some weird state last night, just of tiredness, not knowing where I was. Scoopy-doop. So there's probably 2 or 3 suns, 23 objects. So we're probably going to have a hot sun with gas giants, and then a shed load of rock bodies hiding as high metal content. Oh no, only 1 sun. Okay, but we've still got a ton of gas giants. That one's too far out to be anything, but I thought I'd check it just in case. We'll jump on. Anybody else who's hanging around out there in the... hang on. This is weird. Your picture shows up different on my phone to the desktop. What's the deal with that? So you've got a llama on the desktop, and then you've got some green alien on the desktop. What type of voodoo is this? Maybe my phone saves it. I like the llama. So yeah, I think as well now, as I'm going along on the trips, if ever we get into conversation as in a group within the chat, I'm going to start listing more stuff in the show notes. So I'm actually going to start treating my streams as more of a show. So instead of kind of letting it be and going on, I'll kind of update the stream as it goes on with whatever we're talking about. So if we're talking about specific apps, specific websites, whatever, they're all going to get added in the show notes, so that as we go on, although it's going to kind of be live and it's been a bit more, what's the word, a pot smoking cat giving me the finger. It sounds like my cat without the pot, to be honest. Well, my cat's a nice cat. It's just a bit of a dickhead. I'm going to start adding more in the show notes, so people can actually come back at the end or the next day and whatever and check it out, and it'll list any apps, websites, things like that we've been talking about. It's probably going to be a little bit more work because it means that the next day I'm going to have to review it and make sure that everything went in there, but I really want the stream to kind of become helpful. And definitely with the ideas I've had about mats trading and stuff like that, I just think it's if it works out, I'll test it when I'm back in the bubble. If it works out, we'll arrange something in the Discord. So gas giants galore.
Shift drive charging.
So I need to take 3 hours this weekend as well to go through my bookmarks. You wouldn't believe my my Elite Dangerous bookmarks. Honestly, I can't make head and a tail of it anymore. So it needs really compartmentalizing completely. Because if I don't do it, it's gonna drive me mental one day. So we're gonna do a big scoop on this one because I didn't fully scoop on the last one. I'm trying to think if yesterday I did the right thing about leaving with a smaller fuel tank, but I honestly think that at the moment I don't regret it now.
Drive charging.
Yeah, I mean, generally I do put the locations in if I'm not too, shall we say, not too tipsy by the end of the stream. I do try and update it, or I try and put it in the title or something like that. I used to actually even put the drop-in points in the videos. Kind of got lazy about it, but like I say, if it drives people back to the video to watch more and to look more, that's only going to benefit me in the long road when I try and get monetized or whatever, if I get to that point. But you know what I mean. The more hours or the more time that people are actually looking at stuff, so I can even link in when the conversation starts. But in general, that means me being a bit more vigilant sitting here. So if, for example, you and I are talking about the system I'm in right now, then I need to have a pen and paper ready to, you know, log the time of the time of the conversation when it starts, and that's quite hard going back over on that. But we'll see. And not just stuff like that, like just ideas that come out. Like I was thinking yesterday before I went to bed, I had this idea about mats trading, and then I remembered there is actually a website that does it. But then I thought, well, if I can get community mats trading going on within the Discord, that would be amazing. You know, you could have 3 people in 3 different places just hammering the mats, and then you all meet up wherever and exchange them. So the Discord would be perfect for that. So if you're wondering why I'm on a bit early tonight, it's because I don't think I'm going to be streaming a long time today. The last couple of days I've just been absolutely hammering it, and it's burning me out a little bit, and I would prefer to just get like one really good night's sleep tonight, and then I know I can go from tomorrow till next Tuesday or Wednesday without any problem, you know. But if I feel myself waning from tiredness, then I end up being really, really boring, especially if I've had a drink, so I'll just start yawning and jumping. Not saying much else.
Drive charging.
So yeah, and actually places we visited during that stream, we do actually have a bit of a list of them, because myself and the Flying Scotsman Brian, we kind of talk on Discord, or we link bits and bobs on Discord, so that's all traceable. What time did I stream last night? I'm trying to think what time I... No, I streamed earlier than this last night, I think, actually. Maybe everybody's in the same thing as me. Everybody's oh fuck it, night without Discord. Just sorry, night without Elite. Just one night. Okay, not much going on in here. So, can you see how few stars we have in the system map now? Sorry, not in the system map, in the navigation map. That's because we're really getting to kind of like the bare bones at the bottom now. We're in the last 13 jumps, so we're getting to a point here where there are very few stars. Even if you look around, I mean, you can see there's so few stars around me. It's because we're getting to the absolute bottom of the Milky Way, and that's what I want. I want to be in a place where I know probably nobody's been before. I'm gonna have that straight line, or almost straight line. I mean, as straight as it can be in this area where there's not many stars, and I just know that I can go all the way in, and I will, up until the last maybe 200 light years, I'm probably going to be finding places that are unvisited. You know, I might not hit any nice worlds down here because I don't know how I don't know how the background simulation works in terms of planet creation. Although this looks like a nice system, or this, at least this band does here. If this is a water world, I think there's two in that band. If there is, it's a little bit of a way out. But you know, I've just got a hunch about this, so I'm going to head out there. And I'm going to try and tag it. So yeah, you're out in this area looking at the system map. None of these have been explored at all, and that really doesn't surprise me where I am. Lucky if anybody's ever been out in this area. But you know, being able to tag a system in this area, you know, maybe nobody comes across it, but at least it's my system. And if either of these, what look like water worlds, if either of them pay off, then it'll be worth it. Hey Tangent, how's it going? I know, what's the latest mission to get removed? Are they just going crazy over there? Just like delete the whole fucking server. What's going on with that then? Do you know what? I'm glad I came out the bubble now. It's ridiculous. I'm telling you that if they're taking more stuff offline, I think they're actually showing how inept they are. I don't want to really call anybody inept because I think it's unfair. They do, you know, these lads, they do work hard and everything, but if they're having to pull multitudes of things off, it's obvious. Hang on, I'm just seeing if I can spot anything on here. No, is it delivery missions they've pulled? I can't see what they've pulled actually, so enlighten me and remind me afterwards about Matt's trading. Do I just search Yamix in YouTube to find the answer actually? Right, okay. Another mission removed. Yamix has got... No wonder nobody's dropped in my stream. I can't wait till the day I get monetized. I'm going to beat that guy by a minute every time. I swear to God. So it was an exploit. I mean, if you utilised it, it was an exploit. Oh. This is what I'm saying. I mean, there's something about it all. They're not doing something right. If I've always said, you create a game, you're supposed to be looking for exploits, and as the game creator and number cruncher, shouldn't you be the first one to spot them? Shouldn't you know what the boundaries of exploitation are? Or is that just a bug which was never reported? Alright, Darren, how's it going? Darren, sorry, why am I saying Darren? Why did I say Darren? Oh yeah, because I was watching some basketball earlier. This guy called Darren. Thanks for dropping back. Thanks for not joining Yamix. He's not streaming, don't go there. No, but... Is he cackling in Latvian? Who said that last night? That made me giggle. Cackling in Latvian. Right, okay, so let's cross our fingers and hope that this water world is terraformable. Because I do want to register stuff to Elite Galaxy Online. 14 high metal contents I scanned yesterday. 9 water worlds. Only 9 water worlds. That's quite shocking. Oh crap! It's not terraformable. The planet. I think the sun's too. The sun's too cold, and that's a rock. So I'm not going to bother. Okay. Oh well. It was a bit of a trip out, but. Oh, it's just jealousy from this side, to be honest. I don't get paid by YouTube, so I have to work, unfortunately, and I can't get on that quick, but I'm not complaining about that. Not at all. He should just do a stream about Star Citizen where people can piss and moan about that. I mean, I was looking yesterday, not yesterday, what day was it? Don't even know what day it is. Sunday, I think it was. I was looking at how much money Star Citizen has amassed. It's an obscene amount of money from essentially donations. And there is a ton of people in the background who are saying, I've always said you've got to give people the benefit of the doubt until they prove you wrong. I don't mean you have to walk around in a naive way and just accept things, but you have to have some trust in the world, otherwise we'd never get anywhere. But loads of people in the background, loads of developers and stuff like that, are saying, you know, this is a cash grab, they're just trying to keep themselves employed for the next X amount of years and then they'll move on to a different project. But I'm thinking the money's getting so ridiculous now that they have to complete that game and get something out. Maybe that's what Squadron 1's all about, I don't know, but it seems to me that if they don't get something out, I don't know if they'd ever get another penny out of anybody. Well, you'd think that. I mean, you know, you don't even need like an internally paid group. You can pay a group of players, you know, I don't know, Lave Radio or something like that, and just say, look, we want you to go out and test these parameters. So put it into EDDB, check that out and see if that works, or check these trades, check these things and see if they work. It seems odd to me. I mean, I know that bugs get thrown up, but I don't know, were people legitimately able to just abuse the hell out of that? Sounds like they were. Oh, I didn't actually read the first message, so yeah. Well, they can pull that money back. At least I would hope they pull that money back. That's a complete... It's not even a mission... it's not an exploit, is it? It's a total bug. I can't remember which bug it was. The Division had a serious bug where people were able to... to get a huge amount of credits, and they turned around within, I think within 48 hours, and said, if you think you're keeping that money, you're kidding yourself, and they took it away about 3 or 4 days later. But again, what's it all about? It's about money. They need to start looking at the balance of it. Do you think that maybe they're so far deep into the game now that they can't address the money problem through fear of alienating one side or the other? There's definitely some people out there who do not want new players making money, and rightfully so to a certain extent, but as I've said before, everybody buys the game and everybody has a right to play it. And it's, although, you know, if I work my ass off for 2 years for my Conda, some guy spots an exploit and makes it within 2 hours. I mean, come on. You have to admit that that's not a great situation for anybody. But is it the guy who managed to get the Conda's fault? Oh, I mean, Star Citizen's in perpetual development by the look of it. But do you know what gets me is they keep on adding stuff. And that's what makes my brain start itching, because if I was working on something, especially where people have donated an obscene amount of money towards it, I'd be saying, look people, what we're going to do is for the next 6 months we're going to stop production going forward. We're going to look at what we've got now, we're going to solidify what we've got now, and we're going to release a semi-workable product so you can play around on it and you can enjoy it, and then we're going to start moving forward. The fact that they've been, they were in court with somebody as well recently over the usage of the graphics engine and stuff like this, and that tells me, look, if you're abusing something, there's a reason for it. If you have nothing but good intentions, you would have probably approached that company to tell them about it. You know, they still produce they produce these snazzy videos every week to keep the interest up. They don't, you know, they're running it on supercomputers, so you don't see where the actual glitches and everything are, which means there's going to be the odd, even if you can get 50 people to sign up to your alpha, your beta, whatever, on the premise of that they think it's going to run at super speed and whatnot, and they think it's going to be seamless. They also, apparently, for the production of the videos, they get Patreon money for that. But if it's an in-house company making the video, nobody's really paying for it. I don't know, there's just something about that. It reminds me a lot of how, what was it called? There was a game, a really famous game. Go look it up when I remember the name. This is Vegas. There was a game called This is Vegas where it was similar to Grand Theft Auto. It looked amazing, because I think it was PlayStation 2. I don't even think it was PlayStation 3. It looked amazing for what it was. This company put together an initial game, sold it to Sony, or sold the idea to Sony. Sony absolutely threw a bucket load of cash at it, and they just ran it dry. They just kept on working until the well was empty. It never got out there, and I can't remember, a ridiculous amount of money was spent on it. Can't remember the amount of money that was spent on that This is Vegas. I'm sure it was called This is Vegas. I might be getting the names wrong because it was a few years ago, but I'm going to quickly Google it now. This is Vegas. Yeah, okay. This is Vegas. It's definitely a word, so... yeah. Unreleased video game development surreal software with a company. Oh, it was actually for PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, but I'm sure its production started in the PS2 days. Okay, what are we on? Got 5 jumps. Look at the sky. The sky is deadly black. Look at it. You've got and look at the galactic core there. I swear, when we get down right to the bottom. Oh, craps, wrong one. I can jump now. Now I'm cool. Oops, sorry about that. I think, and to go into the development Star Citizen, I'm not sure if it's been in development as long as this game has. I know they had a conference call. There was 3 companies working on Star Games, and they all had like a conference call, and they were kind of sharing information about how a game should be made. And one of the things they talked about was having grind in the game. So, but I can't remember exactly.
What's going on, everybody?
Okay, sorry about that. I just saw a video come up in my video list about Madden. I love Madden, but sadly I vowed that this year would be the last one I ever buy, because I'm absolutely sick of, I think in 6 years that I've spent 60, 70 euros every time it comes out, and that game never ever goes anywhere. So I vowed, right, next year I'm not buying it, and now just saw a video pop up saying the director of the game is saying there's going to be a huge overhaul. I'm like, yeah, of course there is now. Now that I've vowed never to touch it. So we're getting into the bowels of space now. Look at how black that is. It's amazing. It's nearly as good as the it's nearly as good as the bright part. Oh, I've gone in the galaxy map by accident. I'm going to go in the systems map. Look at this. Now, this might be oh, cripes. That's 4,500 though. I mean, the sun's quite hot, so you never know, but no. I should really power down here actually, because I don't know which direction I'm going for these ones. Let's have a look at this one. The Fairview, yeah. I'm going to travel over, because one, it's... no, it's not. It's a mile away. Right, I'm going to have to take a calculated guess here, because this could mean sitting here for a ton of time for absolutely nothing. So what we're going to do is we're going to run across these. So sorry if I keep jumping in and out of the map, but there's 3, 6, 4, 8, 7, 2, 3, 6, 4, 8. Okay, 3, 6, 5. That's quite a big jump. 3, 6, 5. Okay, another water world. suspect that's a water world. Now, this is one of the things where you have to make serious decisions sometimes, because 300,000 light seconds is a long way. And to get 2 million for it, for what, 300,000 light seconds, is about 10 minutes, I think. Right, I'm gonna do it, I think, because I can get a scan on that one as well, and if any of these are terraformable. Ow. Look at that. No stars clogging it up, just nebula. That can't be true, really. Can't imagine that's true. Oh, hang on, tangent. TW. Hey Brian, how's it going? Did you get much further than me, Brian? Yeah, I mean, I think in this game, and this is my thought about it, okay? It would help players out immensely. So, I believe that the way it should be done is that you can actually almost choose a direction that you want your career to go in. Okay. I actually think you should have 3 to 5 accounts, shall we say, for one price. Oh, you did? Where was that? So, I'm gonna lay this out, because in almost any other game you can have more than one save. There's very few games that restrict you to one save, and that it bothers me that they do it in Elite. But of course, they maybe don't want you having loads of accounts, because I think maybe you start pissing and moaning about the grind a bit more. But I definitely think you're right in that you should be able to pick a career, and you should be able to change it. You know, if I decide to be a pirate tomorrow, okay, you can be a pirate. You're not going to start at the top. You can keep your money, you can keep everything like that. But definitely putting some type of system in place there where you can do various things. But my thought on the whole thing is that they can't. That's my belief. So we can sit here all day and say they should do this, they should do that, we should do it that way, we should do it this way. And in some games, people can take notes, go out and change the game and put those things into play. This game is so basic. It is like, how many years old is it now? Is it like 4 years old? And then the tech is going to be maybe a year or two older, sorry. So maybe they're just unable to change stuff. That means he was ducking a black hole or something like that. never dropped in on a black hole when it flies right towards you and you crap yourself? It's horrible. It's funny, but it's horrible. Trying to find out the information on this game. This is Vegas. It was a ridiculous. Okay, so Midway and Warner Brothers. Now you have to remember this is in like 2006, 2005, 2006. Warner Brothers and Midway spent between 40 and 50 million developing this game. This is Vegas. Now that's peanuts now, but back then that was a absolutely huge amount of money, because everybody could see that it was a hit, that it was a home run. But the studio that made it just, you know, they were building upon building upon building upon building, and it ended up just being an absolute mess. But speaking of games that always have bigger scope, but do actually end up paying off, is Detroit Almost Human has finally got a release date, 25th of May. Yeah, I'm in the private group, Brian. If you don't know what Detroit Almost Human is, I would definitely go check it out on YouTube. I won't. Well, I can kind of spoil it, but I won't make any true spoilers. It's a game somewhere based around artificial intelligence and kind of like Blade Runner type stuff. It's been in development for a couple of years. It's been done by Quantic Dreams, who do some of the most amazing games I've ever played. It's not everybody's kettle of fish, but there's never been a Quantic Dream game that I didn't enjoy personally. Yeah, because like I say, if, for example, if I choose to be a pure trader, okay, my rank in trading should rise really, really quickly, and my payoff should actually get better, or at least even have a background fleet. You know, have a background fleet that runs in the background. You're not actually flying the ship, but you've got the fleet out there, so your fleet can be working for you. That could be interesting. Oh Christ, Brian. Did you get out of it? Please tell me you got out of it. It's one of the reasons why I don't use neutron stars. Okay, you did. Okay, that's good. It's good to know. Okay, halfway to this point. I'm really, fingers crossed, if I get there in this fucking waste of time, I'm going to be really annoyed. Do you know another thing? I'd like them to just come out and tell us why the grind is so imbalanced. I know the reason, but they're just not telling people, and oh bloody hell, you're miles away from... You're not a million light years away from me. No. Crapped myself there. Oh, 1,000 light years. That's still quite far away. Ah. Oh no, because you're above me. Okay. Where's Colonia? Well, I was just going down low. Did I send you it in the chat? Yeah, I think I did. And then the next destination will be Saggitarius, eh? That was my intention anyway. I wanted to just get so far below the galactic plane, which I am. There's very few stars out here. It's pretty cool. There's one there. There's a couple up there. I think that's actually a galaxy, so that's not a star. There's a couple on that side, because I think I'm looking up at the plane there. It's just based on where I am, but I think if I look down, like, it's pretty black down there. There's not many stars. Okay, Athena, thanks for coming in. Ah, because you said you went to last night's location, but on mine, it's showing you as above me. So I don't know why it suddenly put you above me. If you look at my galaxy map there, you're way above me. And I'm still a few jumps out from where I want to be, but maybe it's plotting you. Ah, no, I don't know. If you're going to Saggay, it might actually be plotting you towards it. It's just, but you're closer to Colonia than I am. Oh, okay, I get what you mean. Yeah, did I talk something about locking ranks actually last night? I think it was last night. I was banging on about it. I didn't play the game when they used to have it actually, but I was thinking about that because I was saying that in the early rank locks, you could in the early ranks, let's say, you could actually have a quite quick succession to the medium ships. So you didn't feel like you were dilly-dallying too much in that area. Because I always feel that that's the hardest time to get money. And to put enough money to get a decent ship together. That middle part of the game. And then when you get to the top, it's kind of, okay, I've got all the money, I can do what I want. But you haven't. I had 1.3 billion and I've got 250. So it doesn't necessarily work. But the credit thing is weird. It is really weird. The fact that Yamix has got like 600-700 people sat in his Discord pissing and moaning about what essentially was a complete exploit of the game tells me that people, unfortunately, there is a player base there that they don't want to be sat around grinding it too much, and they have to be listened to. They paid the game as much as you or I did. Like I said before, I don't want a situation where they're able to get where I am within 2 hours. That is ridiculous. They shouldn't be able to do that because I've put a ton of work in and I've been doing it in an honest fashion. But I do feel that I do empathise with how they feel about it, especially people who don't have time to play. There's going to be lazy people in there just taking what they can get where they can get it, you know, but well, and I'm neither right or wrong in my thoughts, they're just my thoughts, but Tangent, if you're still watching, type a message saying yes or something, because I want to tell you about the mats idea I had. Because we were talking about it yesterday, and as I was dropping off to sleep last night, something just pinged in my head. Okay, you are there, because I saw that one.
listened to the stream and what they were saying, and it's not so much better to go in.
Yeah, but I mean, if the mission's completely done, they have every right to pull it. I wouldn't even argue with it. It's like those people, you know. I'll put it into perspective. Walmart put a PS4 game on the shelf, right? And some dullard out back accidentally marks it as €1.99 instead of let's say it's a PlayStation 3, and one dullard out back marks it as $1.99 rather than $1.99 rather than $100. Now the law states that they have to give that price until they correct the mistake. So anybody who gets there before the mistake gets a bargain. But for me, if you take it from a mega corporation, it's maybe a bit different. But even so, you know that that's not right. You know that that's broken. If it's but there's people I know who would do it to a small company, and there was a company a couple of years ago on the internet got bankrupt by a deal that they accidentally put up wrong, and apparently they were in a rush to do a deal for Valentine's Day because it was one of the most important days of the year for the company, and people took advantage of a mistake they made, and the company went bust. And I thought it was shocking that people actually went in there, and maybe people didn't know it was a small company, whatever. I don't know if I agree, Kathina, because there is content in there that you do need money for. Like, if you want to upgrade your ship with certain things, I've never bought them yet, but there's parts of the ship that cost like 200 million. Yeah, you do. I mean, you are right in that sense. You're just able to do them a little bit more efficiently, shall we say? But you are right. And to be honest with you, is there really anything wrong with a grind in a certain way? Like, this game's never gonna. Like I said, it's a really basic game behind all the nuts and bolts. Believe me, there's nothing spectacular going on there. And obviously, Frontier aren't going to come out and tell people that. But you've got to enjoy the game for what it is, and it is extremely limited. Like I say, for a game that's what a maximum 4 years old, and then however long in development. And these new I think this whole stuff is coming about because of these new ships. These wing ships, or whatever they're going to call them, I've forgotten the name now. I think they're going to cost a bomb, and I think that they don't want people being able to buy them outright. And one of the reasons that points towards that is the fact that the wing missions pay so well. The wing missions pay really, really well, so I have a feeling that's pointing towards the wing ships or whatever, which will cost huge amounts of money, and therefore you will have to grind wing missions with a wing in order to get the payments, in order to pool. I think you'll pool the money, and then you'll pool the money and buy one of these mega ships or whatever they're called. I can't remember what they actually named them. Hopefully this one's terraformable. So if this one's terraformable, this crapola. So that one is, but this one isn't. It's too far out, so even that one is not going to be worth a scan. So that trip definitely wasn't worth it, but whatever. I get what you mean, but people always want that bigger ship, don't they? Well, why do I want a bigger ship? Because I could essentially, if I want, I can buy a big ship kitted out with huge guns and hang around outside a port, destroying newcomers. If I was so inclined, that would be what I would. That was why I would want all that money. I'd be able to get the best guns, lock-on missiles, gimbaled weapons, and I'd be able to mess people up. And to be honest with you, they're walking a very fine line with those big ships, because in some other games when the developers have created a thing for people to gang up in groups, it's never gone well for the community on a whole. So I don't know, that's something they should be looking at some other games as to whether they should do it and concentrate on it. But that's just negative me. The negative one of me knows that there's people out there who just want to mess games up. They're not interested in the actual content, they're not interested, and it's so prevalent these days. There's some people who are just there to absolutely mess games up. It's also, Kathina, you're right in what you say there. There's also that thing of that feeling of I've made it, you know, and it doesn't matter what type of game it is. It could be a space sim. It could be a, you know, there's people who play the Sims and turn off all the needs. I do when I play the Sims. Actually, go into debug mode and turn a few things off that generally just pee me off and destroy my kind of how I enjoy playing it. And sometimes I've used mods that help the Sims do certain things faster, just to get that achievement a little bit faster. But yeah, UI, other people who really like the game, we're not necessarily going to abuse those things, but I've said it's the main people complaining are the people that need money. And the only reason I can purely see that you need money is that you go around griefing people so much that you need a huge amount of rebuy money. That's all I see it as. Can't see many other people doing it. Other people might do it a little bit so that they've got money for the future. They might have a bit of foresight and think, well, if I do this now, I'm going to be able to save up X amount of money, and if something comes in the future, I'm going to have the money for it. Okay, so I'm at my destination here. No, you don't. You know, you're right. There's like I said, I play the Division. Love the Division. I've put countless amount of hours into it. I mean, countless amount of hours. It's ridiculous what I've put into the game. I've never got a full kit. So, like, you have a character, much like this, you kit out a ship, you kit it out to its maximum potential, i.e. what I've got with my diamond back here. You do it with a player, with his guns, with his suit, whatever. I've never been able to do it. Never. I've tried, put countless hours in, I've never been able to do it. It's so frustrating. If somebody told me that there was a little way of cheating my way to success to get that kit, in that game I'd probably do it. In this game, it really doesn't bother me, but for some people it obviously does, and they need it all. So, oh no, I wanted maybe I'm picking the wrong place, or I'm probably spelling it wrong. I want to close that video. No, because, well, this is the thing. For me, I say this because people, you know, you're right in what you say there, because people often say to me, oh, you're exploring, you're not in an asp. And I'm like, no. I actually like the view from the asp. I like the way, the size of it. Is that not working? Oh, no.
Sniffle, son.
I like the asp. I like the way that it works. Why is this not working? I'm not spelling it wrong or anything, and it doesn't have a different name in the game, so why is that not, am I spelling it wrong? spelling it wrong, aren't I? What an idiot. It's been a long week. I'm tired. Okay, let's try that one. Okay. But I'm constantly, every stream, people are questioning why I'm in a Diamondback. But for me, if I'm going to kind of head out into the black and just look for stuff, then the Diamondback feels right for me. It's a little compact, it's a little cramped. But what more do you need? You know, when I go walking in the mountains, or when I used to go walking in the mountains, take a tent. What did I used to take? I used to take tent, extra something to protect me from the weather, like if it rained or something, an extra jumper, a tablet to watch stuff on at night, and a solar panel, and then obviously food and stuff like that. But in general, I didn't feel like I need a lot, so it kind of suits me that way. The asp just seems a little bit too big. I love the asp. Oh, 231 jumps, okay. No, it isn't. It isn't. They have to work harder. But is it because they think they need a conda, or is it because they think? I'm gonna go with this. You know what men are like with our phallic ideas? Maybe it's just like my ship's bigger than yours. Maybe it's more like that. That's where I would tend to sway in that idea. The idea of exploring in an anaconda makes me feel nauseous. The turn radius on it is shocking. The speed of turn is shocking. I don't care how much you've engineered it. Yeah, you might get a few light years jump on me, but I think that with my maneuverability and my ability to get away from a star is probably going to serve me better.
Ready to engage.
Okay. Oh, I didn't miss a message there, did I? No. Yeah, we want them because of the biggest, shiniest ship, though, isn't it? I would presume. Because, you know, Elite's no different from any other game. In every other game's message board you go in, people are having the same conversation that we're talking about now. They're talking about griefers, people who are abusing something, because every game has abuses. How it's terrible that one side just wants to get to the top without doing any work, and how the other side puts in so much work to get to the top and gets very little reward for it. This happens right across the board in video gaming. Just right across the board. Yeah, well, they're wrong. They're absolutely wrong. And that's a problem in their own head. If they want to create that problem, then they have to deal with that problem, because you certainly don't need the bigger ships, and you can get enjoyment out of other ships. I will not go exploring in anything other than this Diamondback. Passenger missions, my preferred ship is a Beluga. When I'm doing kind of specific people passenger missions, it's my Beluga. I could definitely do an Anaconda out and have a huge jump range and be able to finish those missions in much faster time, but I don't feel comfortable doing those missions in my Anaconda, because I'm looking at this huge cruiser ship and thinking, why the hell is one person getting the use of this cruiser ship? My Anaconda gets used for bulk passenger missions, but like I said, it's always in somebody's state of mind, and unfortunately, You know, some people just want the shiny things, and that's all they're going to aim for. And if they have to break some rules getting to it, so be it. But what do you think the limit is then per hour tangent? Or what do you think a fair limit is? Because you know, they're all back there in the FDev offices, it's all clipboard and Excel spreadsheets. And so they want you to play their game for X amount of hours per day. So their idea is, right, I need him to play X amount of hours a day, so I'm going to make the grind that little bit harder so he puts in the extra hours. They don't want you going away and playing somebody else's game. If you go away and play somebody else's game, that's not going to serve them when they make the next game or when they go for their next job. So games being created for pure enjoyment these days, it just doesn't exist anymore, because previously you could have this very quick turnaround, you know. 10-15 years ago, well, not even that long ago actually, 10 years ago, a game could be turned around in a year. A new game would be created and you'd play it. You had like Assassin's Creed, which would come out pretty much every year with a new version. Now, because of the amount of money that you have to pay to create a game, it has to have longevity. And at the moment, it seems like the companies prefer to create grind and a fruit machine environment, if you will, or a lottery environment, in order to keep people hooked. They're not interested in actually producing true content to keep people hooked. And so it's their mathematics versus our mathematics, if you will. And so, you know, I've been playing this game for about an hour or so, and I can tell you that I have logged 3 watertight water worlds, I think I was on 9 before. Tagged... No, I think it's 4 watertight worlds. 2 of them are terraformable, 2 of them aren't. I've tagged 1 metal world, and those ones don't count, so that doesn't matter. So how much have I made there? I've made about 3 million in probably more than an hour actually. What am I on now? In an hour and 20. I'm not moaning, but it's just me. No, I don't deny that, you know, the explorers like to explore and the money part doesn't really come into it. If I was back in the bubble, I'd definitely be expecting more money from what I was doing, definitely. The wing missions, the wing trade... See, while everybody's pissing and moaning about this money, wing trade missions are paying out like fruit machines, like a broken fruit machine. Yeah, well, that's what I was saying earlier. I was saying when is taking advantage of a situation where you can actually make some money, like stacking missions. I don't have a problem with that. If somebody wants to stack missions, I don't have a problem. But when the Skimming missions were completable, right? Let me give you a hypothetical situation, okay? I can stack 300 passengers to deliver to from X location to Y location, okay? And I have to do some board hopping to do it, okay? And then I get myself stacked up, but I have to put, let's say, 14 hours in game to get those passengers to a location, okay? Minimum 14 hours, and I can earn, let's say, 100 million from that. That's acceptable, isn't it? In the game environment, I would consider that acceptable. I'd probably bite somebody's fingers off for it, to be honest. I know I'm going to be able to scan on the way. I know I might be able to... oh god, we're in the dead part of the galaxy here. We're not going to come across anything. And so, but like skimmer missions, you go from a station to this, from the Y, from the X location, the station to the Y location, the planet, to the Z location, wherever the skimmers are based. You spend what, a minute killing them, and then you fly back to your station to pay out. Should that be paying 1 million credits? I don't think it should. Now, if you have to fly across the bubble to infiltrate somewhere and destroy skimmers to do a skimmer mission, hello Joe, should it be worth it? Well, yeah, absolutely. As long as you're not putting 6 hours in to get to your location, then yeah, absolutely, then I think it's worth it. Absolutely. But like I've said before, don't think Frontier aren't looking to fix some of these things, because they are making an in-game codex, which is super important, because this game is more complicated than, I don't know, finding out what a woman really wants. Oh, that sounds sexist, but this game is so complicated. And if you don't have, when I say the ability, I don't mean as in having an internet connection or whatever, but some people just aren't very good at researching stuff and don't want to sit and read through stuff, and then the game doesn't hold your hand. So and people quite often quite flippant about it and say, oh well, if you don't want to find it out, then that's your problem. Well, it isn't. Some people just want to be able to sit down and chill out. They don't want to fucking exam. There's a really good idea. No, but you're right in what you say. I know I'm answering a lot later than you've written it, but a month, a community goal for a month. People hammer it. People saving Obsidian Orbital. You know, go out, spend this next month saving Obsidian Orbital, and we will stack amounts of cash depending on how much you can deliver. Then you can sneak in your little amount of gameplay that you want people to put. You go, oh, they're going from X, Y, they're going to be able to take a maximum or a minimum of this amount of money. You're gonna, what people are actually going to find that they can do is they can get those big ships once they've completed it, if it's a month long. Okay, Mats. Yeah. Okay, so as I was dropping to sleep, I had this really good idea, because I'm always trying to think of ways to make the Discord better, and this is one of the ideas I have. So, for example, I've been to a planet and I've got a shed load of stuff from the planet, and I go to the Mats Trader, and like you were saying, I'm getting a dodgy deal, so I'm not getting as much back off the Mats Trader as I would. Or what's stopping you going to Dav's Hope and getting a load of stuff? Okay, from Dav's Hope. So you sit absolutely hammering Dav's Hope for 6 hours. I go down to a planet or 2-3 planets and I hammer that for 6 hours, and I fill up with mats that way. And then me and you meet up in LHS 142 or whatever, and through Discord I say to you, okay, I'm going to give you 2 for 1 on that, because I need that, you need this, I'll give you 2 for 1 on it. And you say, alright, I'll go with that, yeah, 2 for 1. So then we start just dropping it as cargo and transferring it between each other. And so on and so forth, and we can even have like an intermediary. So we both say, okay, I'm going to deliver mine in an unarmed X. You say, okay, I'm going to deliver mine in an unarmed Y, and then somebody else sits in on the transaction with an absolutely, you know, pumped up Python or whatever, and ready to take out anybody who tries to do a runner, you know. Hey Joe, I know you said hello earlier, and I think I said hello. Cheating on my stream with somebody else's. Disgusting. Like he didn't just come from Yamix. But it all depends what in, doesn't it, chat Tangent? When you say making 30 to 60 million an hour, it all depends what in. See, I think when you're going to do something really dangerous that could really mess up your ship, then you should be getting paid a lot more money, and Skimmers is not that. If I'm doing something like passenger missions, then I don't know if 30 to 60 million an hour is quite where it should be. Maybe 30. I think as high as 60. Was anybody actually doing the hashtags in we talked about yesterday in Yamix's stream? That'd have been good. Oh, you're Duke now. Nice one. I'm Duke, so you have to call me Duke. I think I'm Duke. Yeah, you have to call me Duke Ineffectual Gamer.
Frameshift drive charging.
Well, I'm only going to do a short stream tonight, Brian. I really need to take a rest. So you just keep doing what you're doing towards Sajay if you're ready, and I will catch up tomorrow or something. I'm just a little burnt out today. I'm just waiting for my housemate to come back, and then we're going to cook some food, and then I honestly think I'm just going to go to bed because I've been hammering it the last few nights. But once I've done that, then tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'll be back on and hammering it as usual. So we've got a fair way to go, so I'll be able to catch up, no problem. You were using my video, weren't you, Joe? Which, the Empire one? Is it still running really well? I mean, I'm guessing it is, if you... because you started yesterday, didn't you?
Frameshift drive charging.
I'm going to be honest with you, I can't agree. Imperial Cutter all the way. It looks nice. It looks better. I just much prefer it. $10, wow, yeah, so it's still working then. It's good to see that it's still working. Oh, my phone's running out of battery as well now.
Frameshift drive charging.
Gonna see if I can get one more decent system out of this, and then Conda turns too slow. It's a pig to turn. That's my opinion anyway. Okay, that looks like it could be. It's 1.3. That could be a decent water world. It would be nice if it was. I'm going to travel out to this one. Okay, so after I've scanned this planet, I'm probably going to call it a night, because I need a night off and a little bit of a rest. So that's why I've kind of come on a little bit earlier, so I can just do a little bit and then let everybody know I'll be back tomorrow, fully refreshed and ready to do it. But I mean, I don't know how many hours I've posted. Actually, I can check. Since last week, but it's a lot of hours that I've posted in game. Got what, 2 tonight? They don't release this cargo? Oh, I thought they did. Damn it. Are you sure? Oh, I didn't know that. That's a right pain in the... Oh, well, that's pissed on my chips then, hasn't it? I honestly thought they did appear when you drop them. That's an absolute... Oh, well, that's... Well, my idea's gone then. They'll never do that. They'd never do that. It'll break the mats trader, wouldn't it? So they're not gonna deal with that. Okay, it's unterraformable, unfortunately. So, like I say, unfortunately, you know, it's just caught up with me a bit these last few nights. I know yesterday I posted 6 hours plus, the day before 6 hours, the day before 5, so that's what, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17. Night before that, 4, so that's 17, 21. Night before that, 3. The 6, so like, yeah, in the last week I think I've posted over 30 hours of content, which is a heck of a lot to go by. Not to say, no, even more than that actually, because what was a week ago was the 27th? No, 28th. Okay, so just let me do quick maths. 7, 12, 15, 20, 24, 29, 32, no, I've done even more than that, 32, 34, 38, 40, 40, I've done 41 hours in the past week, so you can imagine just a little bit burnt out, but I think nothing that a couple of glasses of wine and a good night's sleep won't fix, so I'll say good night for tonight, and I'll catch everybody tomorrow, okay? Take care, I'll see you later.